What's going on, guys? Bobby with Consumer Time Capsule, back with another review for you here. And as promised, we're bringing you a lot of pudding. $40 worth of pudding, but in 3 different parts. We're starting with a whole new line of Hershey themed pudding products. So there's 3 different categories. There's layered, which you're seeing here today. There's twisted, and there's chopped. So over the next 3 reviews, we'll get into the specifics of that. Today, it's all about layered pudding. That means a pudding on top of a pudding. It's exactly what you would expect. So it's some of the multi-flavored Hershey products that are featured. Some unique ones too. We got Mounds, Rolo, Reese's, and York. I think that's gonna make for some good pudding. And by the end of this, we're going to be experts, and you're going to have the ultimate pudding capsule countdown, where we try to save you from also spending $40 in pudding. So, I don't know, I guess let's start alphabetically with Mounds.
Let's do it.
First up is Mounds. Like all of the next 12 foods that we review, it's $2.99 at Randall's, which is part of that Albertsons owned, Safeway, Tom Thumb chain of grocery stores. Should be pretty easy to find. I found all 12 at one store, and you really can't beat that. So distribution, pretty solid. Look, it's a pudding on top of a pudding. It's dark chocolate pudding on top of coconut pudding, and I don't think I've ever had coconut pudding, and I'm not 100% sure if I've had dark chocolate pudding. But I've definitely had a Mounds, and I love Mounds.
Was it about
See how it is.
50, the layers?
I would say the coconut is about 80%,
Okay.
and then the chocolate is more of a topping, which is how they describe it.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Coconut and chocolate is just my thing. So I might be biased, but this is absolutely delicious pudding.
Yum.
Man, coconut pudding. Who knew? It's great.
Yeah, this is phenomenally good.
Okay. If they're all this good, it was worth the $40. I mean, that's a lot. Wow. And as I'm kind of letting it settle and breathing, it's even better.
It's good.
Ooh, boy, this is good stuff. I like this a lot. So, by the way, they only come with 2 to a pack, and the packs are $2.99 each. So this is $1.50. It's a rich purchase. So we're really going to have to do a great job of explaining which ones of these are worth buying and which ones of these are not. But so far, we're 1 for 1 on this being a very expensive grocery list for you guys. Now next, Reese's, our first Reese's of the series. Next up is the layered version of Reese's Colliders. Now, we're going to be covering a lot of Reese's products, but this is the first one and probably the one that is kind of most intuitive based on its name. It's got the milk chocolate layer and it's got the peanut butter layer. See how it tastes.
And this is the only one that's layered, chopped, and screwed?
It's the only one. It's the only one to get all 3 varieties. So it's the only one that'll be on today's review, spoiler, Thursday's review, and next Monday's review.
Gotcha. And what are they? Twisted?
Twisted and chopped.
Twisted, chopped, and layered.
Mm-hmm. But this is the only one that's all pudding. It's pudding on top of pudding.
Wait, are they not all pudding? Oh!
The other ones are pudding on the bottom, and then you dunk. It's like a yo crunch. It's got the top thing that you pour the stuff in. This is one of the plainest puddings humanly possible. It's a very dialed back peanut butter flavor. And it's not a distinctively Reese's peanut butter. No. It's not like that thirsty, that thirst-inducing,
I'm thirsty,
roasted peanut flavor.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's more like a peanut butter mousse. And that's just not the flavor of a Reese's. So this one, maybe not hitting the spot quite as well, but I'm really excited about the next one. Rolo. I mean, you know that they're digging deep into the well when they're coming out with a Rolo pudding. So let's see what that's all about. All right, and Rolo colliders, they're layered also with exactly what you'd expect. It's milk chocolate on top of caramel pudding. I do like Rolo. Let's see what this is all about.
Caramel can be kind of a wily taste.
It can. It's a risky one. Ooh, you seem to like it. Okay. This is almost more like a Werther's kind of caramel. You know, it's nothing like a Rolo. It just has the ingredients of a Rolo. Because Rolo is that stringy, like, it's that specific kind of caramel.
The Moeller's caramel.
The Moeller's caramel. Although I guess they're all Moeller's caramel when you really think about it. It tastes pretty good. Yeah, I'm not going to be overly critical here because it tastes really good, but it doesn't taste anything like a Rolo. Really,
I'm not really locked into
much
what
at
a
all.
Rolo tastes like, apparently.
So, I mean, look, it is milk chocolate and caramel, so theoretically this should be the exact taste, but it's just a different caramel. It's just a stringier, waterier caramel, and this is more of like a richer, denser caramel. And but hey, it tastes great. It's got that going for it. All right, last up, York. All right, so York is last up, and this one we've got peppermint pudding. That one I've definitely never had, and dark chocolate pudding on top. I do love York peppermint patties. This is not the color I expected it to be. Bless you. Okay, this is pretty good.
Do you like the texture of pudding?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Rich and smooth. The way that you ask that makes me think you don't.
I feel like it's missing something. Like, I want to chew on something.
Well, this is not your volume, but the next two are. You'll be able to chew on plenty. Boy, another solid flavor. I like it. Does it taste like a York? No, because the intensity of the mint is too light. When you bite into a York, you get the sensation. That is not a marketing tagline. I mean, it is. It's literally a marketing tagline, but you do. I mean, it's jarring to bite into a York peppermint patty. This is nothing like that. Very laid back flavor. Once again, if you tried it blind, would you guess it's York? You wouldn't. But it is nice. It's got a light, cooling aftertaste.
I might guess it's York.
It's pleasant,
It's good.
but I don't know if it's distinctly York. The dark chocolate of a York seems dark, and the peppermint of a York seems very intense. This one is kind of like, it's more of an in the middle kind of approach, which is just not necessarily accurate to a York, but it's good. It's very good. All right, well, it's time to get into the gimmick grade of layered. I'm giving a gimmick grade to each individual genre of the puddings because the flavor additions are all different, right? I think this is one of the more interesting, more diverse flavor lineups, maybe the most interesting and diverse. I wouldn't expect Rolo and Mounds to be included. I likely wouldn't even expect York to be included. I would just expect Reese's to be, and I appreciate stuff like that. Like, would we even be filming $40 worth of pudding reviews if it weren't for Mounds, Rolo, and York flavored pudding?
Makes it very entertaining.
It makes it way better. So I'm going to give the gimmick of the layered varieties an 8 out of 10.
Nice.
And for the capsule countdown, so this is just judging the layered flavors here. All right. Oh, you're nodding with, okay. Fourth place is Reese's, so that's not a good omen for what we have to come. But it's still fairly solid. I just don't think that they nailed that peanut butter flavor. It just was not exciting. Very boring peanut butter flavor. but still an okay dessert. 4.5 out of 10, and 4th place on today's Capsule Countdown. Rolo, very interesting flavor, but I preferred the dark chocolate pudding to the milk chocolate, and the caramel was not the right caramel flavor. It was not specifically the Rolo caramel flavor, so those are some negatives, but still pretty enjoyable as a dessert. Give it a 6.5 out of 10, 3rd place on today's Capsule Countdown. The York was solid. I'm still kind of tasting it as I'm talking, and it's pretty tasty. I like it a lot. 7.5 out of 10, 2nd place on today's Capsule Countdown. 1st place is definitely Mounds. You get really good coconut flavor. Look, it's not like the darkest chocolate in the world, but neither is a regular Mounds. So I like it a lot. If you like Mounds a lot, I think you'll like this a lot. But if you don't like Mounds a lot, I still think it might be worth a shot because it's really good.
Would you rather have a Mounds bar or this little dessert?
I like a refrigerated Mounds bar a lot, so I think I would rather have a Mounds bar than this particular dessert. But that said, under the caveat of layered Mounds colliders are not going to be around forever, and a Mounds bar is literally going to be out long past when I die. Yeah, I take the layered. I'll take a layer. I'll take one layer, or I guess two, because it comes in a 2-pack, over a Mounds bar. But strictly taste-wise, I would go with a Mounds bar for sure, because that's just, to me, it's one of my favorites. I know that that's a weird opinion, but I just love coconut and chocolate together. 9 out of 10, 1st place on today's Capsule Countdown. A strong start. Now, the next version, we're actually going to be doing it on Thursday, not on Monday, because I didn't want to monopolize 3 weeks worth of channel time on just talking about pudding. So a special volume of the CTC review is coming out on Thursday, and we're going to be talking about Hershey's and s'mores and mint and Reese's chopped. So it's like chopped pieces that you pour on a pudding. So it's going to be different, but boy, it's time for some From the Archives. So a lot of different brands had a lot of different things going on in these reviews, right? And one of the all-time best Hershey-oriented products is Almond Joy, and Almond Joy got no love. It's not one of the 12 puddings. It's not part of the $40 pudding experience. But it was a part of the line of Hershey cookies in 2008. These were really, really cool and interesting. They also had Hershey, Reese's, Hershey Cookies and Cream, York, and Hershey Special Dark. You know, my pick was definitely the Almond Joy. Boy, oh boy, if they came up with an Almond Joy, like, chopped, you pour the almond on the coconut and the, basically throw a Mounds with milk chocolate instead and make it happen. But I didn't want Almond Joy to be left out in the cold here, so this is my Almond Joy contribution to all these Hershey reviews. So come back on Thursday, special edition of the CTC review, more pudding, more expensive pudding. Until next time, of course, I will miss you until I see you.